Hello, everybody. This is a late
Welcome back.
night um special edition of Collard Greens and Sushi. She is Kelsey. I am
That is
Melinda.
Melinda.
We're happy to have you guys here.
Yes.
So far we've survived the rapture, but apparently there's gonna be
Only,
a rapture part two.
yeah, right. Just the
Uh
first one. We survived the first
we
one.
survived the first one. We're still here. We're still here. But who knows? Rapture part
Mhm.
two coming up. Kelsey, what's going on?
Do I have to go to work that day? We don't know. We don't know what time zone it's hitting because I don't know if it's going to be on,
That's the
JST or if it's going to
problem.
be
Like, I feel like if it's gonna
Pacific
hit,
Standard.
gotta hit maybe in the middle of the day, so it'll be early. Well, no, because I don't know, y'all. All I know
We
is
don't know.
Rapture Watch Part Two is happening because they used the
Right.
wrong calendar. So, but
We're I'm just waiting for that one. Rapture Watch Part 2, and
Rapture Watch
just every day there's something new. So,
every day,
but
every
mostly we have to just deal with the bears here in Japan. Bear
bears,
attacks.
y'all,
Bears
bears,
be attacking people.
bears. Let
We're
Kelsey
mostly
tell
worried
you.
about the bears.
Every day, rapture and bears. So please, for those of you who are visiting Japan, American deals with guns,
We
Japan
deal with
deals with
bears.
bears.
Yeah.
So if you're in the north, please be
Mm-hmm.
mindful. Don't try to fight off the bear.
Mm-mm.
Um, you
Let the
know,
bear do what's gonna do.
Cause bears gonna do what bears gonna do. I
Mm-hmm.
don't understand why y'all think a bear is not gonna do what a bear does. A bear is going to bear. So heed the
Not
warning,
the verb
people.
and the noun.
Yes, a
Not
bear
the
is
verb
gonna
and the
bear.
noun. Grammatically
So
correct.
I mean, hey, that's the power of the bear. So just be safe,
For real
y'all.
though. That's what
Just
we're
be safe.
dealing with that over here. I mean, they're about to vote for their 50 millionth prime minister too, but
So
that's
you know what? That's something I was gonna ask you about, Kelsey. I
hmm
know that right now excuse me, I think everybody knows like the world is topsy turvy. No
hmm
matter where you are, it's just nuts. Some places are more nuts than others, but
that's why
right
I'm in
now
the bed.
definitely Japan is really feeling it financially. Do you feel the tension there? Like where you are, can you feel
Um yeah, I mean, I would say like I think people there's certain people that are just like whatever, it's a Monday or it's a Tuesday or whatever. They just don't care. And then
Mhm.
there's a big group of people that do care and are like glued to the screen or to the radio or to social media to figure out who is going to be in the runs and who they want to vote for.
Mhm.
There's still a large part of like the youth that doesn't vote at all,
Okay.
and I would say youth to even middle age people that don't vote. They just don't care. Their system is different from ours in the States because it's they have a prime minister, so it's a very different type of system. Whereas we can vote directly, like we have the electoral college and things like that. Their system is different in that sense. And I'm not an expert on it, but I do know these people is about to vote for somebody new coming up soon. I think
Right.
it's the 4th, maybe. They'll put the signs up around in town. I would say the party, there's a Japan First party that is pushing a lot of ideology that's very similar to some parties in the States, where they want to get rid of, like, having a lot of foreigners, immigrants.
Mhm.
For the most part, Japan is very a homogeneous society. Everybody is mostly
Yeah.
of Japanese or most Japanese ethnicity, but a lot of that's changed because they have a foreign workforce that has come in. There's a lot of people that are known as like half, or as they say here, but it technically means like bicultural, like our kids. Which unfortunately sometimes they won't ever be viewed as being Japanese, no matter how well they speak Japanese, how
Right.
they grew up here, how they've lived here their whole life. A lot of that's changing, but there is a party that is definitely pushing that
Right.
ideology, and then there's other politicians that are doing the exact opposite. I don't know if they really believe in it, or if they're like, well, these people are going to be anti-immigrants, I'm going to be pro-immigrant. I don't really know because it's a lot to keep up with, you know.
Right.
I will
Right.
say stuff is expensive. Prices have increased.
I was gonna ask
National.
you that because
Mhm.
I've definitely seen, and again, because I'm not in Japan, but I've definitely seen clips where people are seem to be very disgruntled about um the kind of the old way of doing things. You're just working yourself to death. And,
Mhm.
of course, when I was living in Japan years ago, the economy was different.
Yeah.
It had a more robust economy, where now people are like, look, we can't keep up with, inflation, things growing, but, the salaries aren't changing, but yet you
Yeah.
want me to
No.
work 6 days a week. Um, do you see, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
people protesting? Do you see, or
But you know, a protest in Japan is going to be organized, orderly. It's
it's
going to start
so
on time. It's going
organized?
to end
Oh
on
my
time.
gosh,
They're going to take their trash with
yes,
them. You know that's how Japanese protests going to
I
be. It's going to be
know.
only in this specific area with a certain amount of people that they've
Yes,
already coordinated to confirm that it's okay. They're going to
yes,
be very organized. Any trash will be taken with them. And in
yes.
addition to any other trash they may find littering the street at
Oh
that,
my
it's
gosh, you guys!
that's a
Even
Japanese
when they
protest, but
protest, even when there's civil unrest, Japanese people will still clean up after themselves,
yeah.
and I love it. I know there's so many things that I dislike about Japanese society, but one of the things you will never hear me complain
Mm-mm.
about is folks cleaning up.
Yeah.
I will never complain about it. But
So
yes,
yeah, they do have protests, but they're I would just say they're so I don't want to say they're minor. I think I find more in like the individual protests. Like there is a man that, and there's also a lady that have been, protesting what's going on in like Gaza with
yeah.
Palestine and
We
in
saw him
Israel.
when we were there. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah, you did. Yeah. So I think
yeah, he
those are
usually
more
do. Like we saw him. Yep,
significant. Yeah. Those kind
yep,
of protests because they stand out because that's someone that's doing that every single
yes,
day. Whereas it's not as like, okay, we're all going to meet on October 5th, you guys, and protest
right,
for 30 minutes. It's a little bit different. I
right.
will say people have definitely been complaining about prices. Um, they've definitely been complaining about the cost of rice. That's something that has
Mm.
really been on Japanese news a lot because the price just shot up and the government did intervene to help with that a little bit, but um things is just expensive. The cost of living has
So
increased and people's wages haven't. You know, a teacher here,
right,
um, teaching like let's say an English teacher, probably when we came, I think the salary was like 250,000, like maybe starting.
yeah,
Need go on about that, maybe a little bit more.
right.
The
And that's
salaries are
monthly,
still
people.
this
That's monthly, and that's in yen. That's not
monthly in yen.
This is not 250,000 a year. This is
No,
not US. This is
what is that? Let me
in
see.
yen, and this is monthly. Like this is your monthly
Monthly.
salary. Yeah.
So I would say according to it's about like 1,600 a month.
A month, yeah.
And then you think about that's you're paying your taxes, you're paying your health insurance, you may or may not be paying pension. Then you got your rent, utilities, um and internet, and maybe then food or your cell phone bill. So I whenever I see job announcements, I'm like, these people must be crazy.
Mm.
20 years ago, if it was not bad because you could definitely live off of that,
You could
have your
definitely
party
live off of
money,
it. Yeah.
and then you knew your like little tricks to go, buy food when the supermarket discounts it at a certain
Yep.
time, or like people would pull together and have parties at their places, or
Right.
different things like that. But 20 years later, you trying to pay someone that salary, you must I see it, but people want to come, and I guess it's because they just really want to leave wherever they are or
Right.
experience, something new. But it
Right.
is crazy. Like you couldn't get me to be an English teacher for that salary because
No.
that is insane.
No. There's no way. And
especially
I
with
heard even
children.
like, and I heard it's actually worse than that now. Like I heard the
Yeah.
salaries are actually worse.
Hmm.
But people are still,
They'll
coming.
try to chop it and like have you not be a full-time worker.
Mm,
Somehow they'll like skirt the system to say that you don't work 40 hours a week because your breaks won't count or something so that they can
right,
pay you even less.
right,
Um, I've heard all sorts of things. I even saw a job announcement that was like 22 100,000, which I'm guessing is maybe like 1,200 a month.
right.
And I even saw a video of some guy on TikTok that was showing his apartment that he was paying the equivalent of like I think it was like $500 USD a month.
Yeah.
But this apartment, Muffy, like if you had lived here, you would know like it had one burner. The
Oh, one
washing
of
machine was
those.
like one of those. Not
Yeah.
when I say one burner, I mean one
Yeah.
range for your
Yeah.
stove.
Yeah.
It had the bathroom that was one unit together. So the toilet, the sink, and the shower is all in one little crammed room.
Yep.
And the washing machine was outside. So it's essentially an apartment. And this is not knocking anyone that lives in those apartments here in Japan, but it's kind of like nobody's living in those type of apartments these days.
Mm,
It was pretty ragged.
yeah.
And he was so happy to be living there and being an English teacher. And I think he was getting paid 2,300, or I mean 230,000 Japanese yen. So what,
Yeah.
like 1,200 USD a
Well,
month?
you know what? At least he had a washing machine.
Oh yeah, that's
Um,
true.
at least he had a washing machine. I have to go to the laundromat now. Granted, I don't have the cramped bathroom and whatnot, but for some people, you'd be surprised, especially like, um, not so much to compare cities, but I will
Hmm.
say, I personally found there is a vast difference between um low income living in New York and low income living in LA. I found that,
Mm,
you definitely get more bang for your buck in LA than you do New York. Now, that sounds like what you're describing sounds like a New York apartment. Only that New York
yeah,
apartment would be like $2,500. Like the
that's
same
insane.
space, like it's nuts how much people are paying in the city. Like it's
Mhm.
crazy. And as much as I love New York, I'm from New York. I'm like, I can't do it. Like unless I win the lotto. There and even then, I may I may not go back to New York. Like, it's crazy. So
Yeah. I mean, the
but you're
cost of
absolutely
living.
right. Like
Yeah.
we would never. I remember like my first apartment in Japan. Like it was so cute. I had a
Right.
little 1 DK, basically like a living room and like a kitchen dining room area. I had a little table in my kitchen, a
Right.
little bathroom. I had, my living room was not, it was perfect. It was perfect just for me. I still didn't have, did I have a washer? I think I did. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I feel like you did. I feel like when I think about my first place and even
Yeah,
the place that I had like after I left the first school that I came over teaching with, they
yeah.
were all apartments that I feel like were not that bad
Mm,
for the price that you were paying.
right.
Like they weren't that bad. They were cute little tiny places, but I felt like he was like slumming it. And
Yeah,
then his salary. But I think so many people are just happy to be here
yeah.
and or to live their dream out or whatever they want to do, and that's why they were accepting it. And I think if that works, then that works, but the cost of things is definitely increased.
Mm,
The basic salary, like minimum wage, has not increased. I feel like it
mm-hmm,
hasn't increased in like decades probably.
mm-hmm.
um and just people that are living, what do they call it, like they're barely getting by, or I guess not even middle income or middle class, but just like working poor,
Yeah,
that has increased a lot.
yeah.
And that's why people aren't having kids too, because kids are expensive.
Expensive. I was gonna say that was already an issue.
It's
You
already
know.
an issue, and they think they can give you like Jumayen one time, which is like what, maybe $800. Here's $800 one time. That's not going to solve anything. They're all
No,
campaigning about,
that
oh, we're just going to give you
that's
guys a
gonna buy
one
you
time.
diapers for 2 months, and that's it.
Right.
That's it.
It's like not even, I would say having the kid is the cheapest part of it. It's like raising the kid. Because,
Right.
for the most part, you don't really pay anything for to have a kid in Japan. And if you play your cards right, you can get money back. I have a friend that actually made money because she didn't, spend all of the money that was given to her for her first child that was born. Because, it's not an illness. Pregnancy is not an illness in Japan, but the government does subsidize your pregnancy, so you don't have to pay that much.
Hmm.
However, having the kid and right afterwards, you don't really spend that much anyways. It's basically diapers, like you said, diapers,
Yeah,
and maybe if you
diapers,
need formula,
maybe formula.
but that's pretty much it. It's raising the kid afterwards is
Yeah,
where the costs come, and it's like you gotta pay for this, you gotta get this, and
yeah,
then don't let them get into junior high school when they need uniforms.
right,
And then high school, you need uniforms. And
right,
a lot of high schools you have to pay fees for, junior high schools you have to pay fees for. So it's like it gets to be expensive.
right,
I would say you might be good the first 5, 6 years, but it's also hard to find employment or keep employment if you have a kid because a lot of times people don't want to hire people who have kids because kids get sick. You're going to need to miss work.
right.
Or you're going to work part-time somewhere. Okay, well, if you work part-time, you still get taxed out the wazoo if you make over a certain amount. If
Yeah.
you're a dual income family, there's just so many caveats to it. So it's just, I get it why people aren't having kids. They're just like, let me get this cat and be done with
Amen.
it.
Sometimes they don't want the cat. They
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
let me just
At
get
least the
this
cat
done done. I'm
is
good.
easy to get rid of, I
Let me have
guess,
my little hobbies. Right. Exactly.
Right, right.
I mean, I get it. I get it. And this just goes to show, as always, there is no perfect country, you guys.
No,
There is
no.
no country is perfect. There is always
Mm-mm.
going to be something. I know the internet likes to pretend and
Lie to
say,
you.
oh yeah, this is perfect. This is the perfect place. And don't get me wrong, y'all know I love Japan. That's my second home.
Mhm.
That is my partial retirement place. I will be spending, part of my retirement there. Like I love Japan. That's my second home, but I know what I'm getting into because unlike most people, I didn't just visit Japan, I lived in Japan. So I know. I have Japanese children. I know. I
Mhm.
understand. I'm not new to this. There's no perfect place. The only
Yes.
thing that's perfect is how you make it. Either it's
Mhm.
a fit for you or it's not. But don't
This
fall
is
for the
very
okie doke.
true.
And then when you find out that it's not perfect, then they want to get mad. Girl, I saw somebody on TikTok. They were like,
Not them getting mad.
they get mad. It's all, and let me tell y'all, it's always the Americans. Well, I won't say it's always the Americans. It might not always be the Americans. It might be other countries. But from what I've seen, um, I always see Americans talk about, oh, I'm leaving America and da 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 da. And then they get to the place. And again, like I said, once the newness wears off and you're actually
Mhm.
really seeing what it's like living in a different country, then it's nobody prepared me for blah blah blah. And I just like, shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah,
Shut up.
yeah.
Shut up. Like
That is true. I think
you
I saw a
you
video of a girl doing that in Korea. She was like looking for like the beautiful men,
right.
or something. I was like, that's why it's called a K drama
Drama.
because
Cause it's a
it's not
drama.
realistic. It's not realistic.
It's a drama. Like,
Did
come
you think you were gonna walk the
on.
streets and someone was gonna magically open an umbrella
They
for you as
did.
soon as it started
Girl,
raining?
yes,
No,
always. The
no.
umbrella's open, it's raining. You're just like, oh, I love my
You
car
are
keys. And he's standing
everything.
over you, and suddenly the rain stops. And you're like, why did the rain stop? And you look up and he's there.
He's
Like, no,
there. No, no. That's
no,
why it's on TV.
not
Yeah.
how it works, kids. It's not
Yeah,
how it
no.
works.
I think a lot of people do come over with that idea. I think in my case, I think I've been here so long that when I go
Yeah.
back to the States and I'm like, oh, is this how you guys do things? Like
Yeah.
I
We
think I
just
get
dumb, girl. Like, just Americans are just stupid. Like, getting stupider
no,
by the day.
I just miss there's stuff. So when I think about it, there is stuff that I do miss. Like when we're talking about schools,
Yeah.
um, like I think this is just my personal opinion, but I feel like American schools are just so much more colorful and bright and like
Mhm.
there's just I just feel like how in every anime you can tell it's a Japanese animation because the school looks the same.
Yeah.
Because the schools look the same in basically in Japan. All the schools look the same for the most part. But I
Yeah.
feel like in the States, the schools, maybe for the most part, they're similar, but I feel like the playground equipment is colorful and like, it's a different feeling when you go into an American school compared to a Japanese school.
I
I
mean,
feel like they're just darker. They're like not as bright. I feel like American
well,
schools are brighter.
sadly, I think yes, but it
Hmm.
really comes down to socioeconomics here in
Mm,
America because the schools that have funding, the schools that are in certain neighborhoods, the schools that have a certain demographic, you know,
yeah,
yes, their schools look bright and the playground looks great and whatever, but you know, you
not
can
every, yeah, that's
literally
true.
cross the street and you can have a school that has nothing and you have a school that has no playground and you have, so you really hear it's getting to the point where not even getting it's at the point where it's very visibly clear of the haves and the have nots,
Ah, I
like
see. I think it
um
could be the same because there is a school like where my youngest goes to is I think the school itself is 50 years old maybe.
mm,
It's not run down, but it's definitely like I think I told you already. I was in like the open house day,
uh-huh,
and maybe I didn't tell you. Maybe I was telling somebody else, but I was looking while the teacher was talking. You can observe the kids. It's on a
yeah,
Saturday too. I was looking up in the ceiling, and I could see like the dust hanging on the router and the
mm,
electric cable, and it was just the fan was just blowing the dust around. It was a piece of dust. And I said, I
yeah,
know I have some ADHD or something because I kept like she was talking, and I kept looking up there, and I was like, "Ooh, that's nasty." The
yeah,
dust was just and I noticed stuff like that in the school. And it's not run down, but you see stuff like that, right?
yeah,
There's a school across the street, and it's not a rich neighborhood, but you can tell by the houses that it's a little bit more money over there. The houses
mhm,
are bigger, they have more land. The cars that
right,
people have are all like foreign, they're like Audi or Mercedes or Range
right,
Rover, like Land Rover. So you can tell that they have a little bit more money than across the street, which is not poor, but it's more like Toyota Mazda.
right,
And the school looks a little bit nicer. So I definitely can see that being true.
yeah,
I think it's not really any qualms about like which is better, which is worse. I think I miss that. It's like, oh, Natsukashi. Like the feeling is like, oh, I miss like when I watch like a drama or something with my kids and they're like, do kids really have all those lockers in the hallway? And I'm like, yeah, they have those lockers in the hallway. And
right,
people do slam their lockers or they do like put pictures up in their lockers of like their the who they fangirl against or their boyfriend or whatever. And it's just like stuff like that. Or is the school cafeteria, is there really someone that's like serving the lunch like that? And it's like,
right,
yeah, there is, because it's just a totally different experience here
yeah,
where the kids serve themselves, like they
right,
serve, so it's just different. And but like I said, it's not better one way or the other because I was in the classroom and the teacher was teaching them do on a melodian for 45 minutes. And I said, this is not what my child is learning, please. Do. We can't get another note. We can't get a fa or a so or a la or a mi. It was just
no,
do
no,
for 45 minutes. I kid
oh
you not,
my gosh.
on the melodian. And I said, and I that's why I was looking up at the dust in the ceiling, like, because I
Oh
was she had already lost me,
my
so
gosh.
you guys may not be teaching, the things that they should be teaching in the schools and public schools there, but
Right,
also here we're just
right.
teaching do
No,
like literally.
no.
Yeah, I
Well,
said we're
like
gonna
I
get
said,
a different sound, something. No, 45
no
minutes of
country's
that.
perfect, y'all. No
No
country's
country is
perfect.
perfect.
No country's
No
perfect.
country is perfect.
Uh,
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen. Anyway, y'all,
Mhm.
that's it for this midnight late night edition of collard greens and sushi. Hopefully, we survive this round two of the rapture.
Yes. We'll
So
come back
that way.
and do our post rapture
Oh yes, we'll
rapture
come
version
back
too.
next week post
Yeah.
rapture.
If we are
Post
still
rapture
here.
round two.
Yeah. I don't know. Messiah and Yui might be, they might get into
They
heaven.
might be
They might be
gone.
there.
That's what I said. As long as they gone, I'm okay. I'll be okay being left
I
behind.
know Coral, because I hear her pray every night. She's like, "Dear
Oh,
God, I want to pray
see.
for the wars to stop, and thank you for our
Aw.
roof." So she'll be up there. She'll be
She'll
up
be
there
up
with me.
there. She'll be up there. Parlay for us, kids. Parlay.
Yes. Give me
Do
a
the
spot.
parlay. Cause,
Who knows?
'cause
We'll see what happens.
we'll see. We'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see. Anyway,
it's been
round two,
real.
hopefully we'll survive and we'll see y'all next week. Bye
Peace.
everybody.
Bye.